Sure. It's always a function of how well they know the person going in. There's a push and a pull. You don't want to ask so many questions on that first date that they feel like they're being interviewed. You want it to feel natural, and yet you want to know that you're not investing your time and having 2 and 3 and 4 dates with somebody who absolutely, completely, and totally is not headed in the same direction that you are. The advantage of working with a matchmaker is we already know the answer to all of these questions. Most importantly, who wants to have babies and who doesn't, who will date somebody with kids and who won't, and then the religion question is really important too. If somebody only wants to date a practicing Catholic, for example, then what's the point of spending a lot of time with somebody who comes from a Jewish background or a Muslim background or who's not interested in going to church? So you have to be careful. You don't want to ask so many questions that it puts the person off, but you want to get clear about your deal breakers. Each person who's dating ought to have a good list. Sit down in front of the fire or over a glass of wine or when the sun's setting one day with a cup of tea and make a list of all the things you'd love to see in the ideal person for your future partner. Then what you got to do is isolate your top 3 or 4 critical criteria. And for each person, they're different. So for me, when I was single, being married and having a family was my number one goal. So it didn't make a lot of sense for me to have a second date with somebody who wasn't headed toward marriage and kids. So I found that there were ways of asking that question that would send men to the hills. Are you interested in marriage? Do you want to have children? The guy's like freaking out, right? But you can ask a question like, well, what do you see your future looking like? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And you say it in a playful way, and the guy will volunteer. Oh, well, I want to be doing missionary work in Africa. Well, okay, then that's great, but it probably wouldn't be my guy. I want to be married with a great wife, and I want to be living in the city, and I want to have meaningful work that I do, and I want to have a couple kids. Bingo, this guy gets to have a second date with me. Ask an open-ended question that is likely to incite the answers to the questions you really want to have. And don't grill him with a bunch of questions. Make sure it goes back and forth. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, gosh, what do I do if I'm on a date and the guy's just talking about himself all night long? And it's just not a balance. There's a simple way to get around that. You just jump right in and you say, gosh, I'm learning so much about you. This is just great fun. Well, what do you want to know about me? Pick a topic, any topic. You say it in a playful, upbeat way that doesn't make the guy feel like or the girl feel like she's been monopolizing the conversation, but kind of provides a little check there so that you can get some balance going and you can both learn about each other.